Greece is a land where history, mythology, and culture converge to create one of the most captivating stories in human civilization. From the rugged peaks of Mount Olympus to the sparkling waters of the Aegean Sea, Greece has been home to some of the most influential societies in human history. Known for its monumental contributions to philosophy, democracy, art, and science, great triumphs and trials mark its journey. Keep watching to explore Greece's triumphs and trials through the ages. Bronze Age and the rise of the Minoans. Our journey begins in 3000 BCE with the Minoans, Europe's first advanced civilization. They lived on the island of Crete, built palaces like Knossos, and created a mysterious script called Linear A. It is also home of the legendary King Minos, his labyrinth, and the Minotaur of Greek myth. While we know little about this ancient civilization, they left behind art and architecture to marvel at. They created labyrinth-like palace complexes, frescoes depicting ceremonies, a sport called bull leaping, and pottery with vibrant decorations of marine life. One of their most famous endeavors was building palace settlements. The biggest were Knossos, Phaistos, Melia, and Zakros. Each site contained complex palace structures that might have acted as local administrative, trade, religious, and political centers. Another critical aspect of their society was the reverence of bulls. The Minoans played a sport called bull leaping and worshipped bulls, as evidenced by sacred bull horns and the presence of bulls in art. All of this might have combined to give birth to the legend of Theseus and the Minotaur, who lived deep in the heart of a labyrinth in Crete. No one knows precisely why the Minoan age ended. Most believe it was probably a combination of environmental changes, such as a volcanic eruption and the rise of the Mycenaean civilization. Mycenaean Age and the Trojan War. The Mycenaean Age began in 1700 BCE and lasted until 1100 BCE. Its influence extended from the Peloponnese in Greece to the Cycladic Islands across the Aegean Sea from Crete. The Mycenaeans are named after their capital city, Mycenae, in the northeast Peloponnese. The legendary Trojan War is among the many stories left behind from the Mycenaean Age. This war is detailed by some of the greatest writers of antiquity, most notably in Homer's Odyssey and Iliad. According to classical sources, the war began after the abduction of the beautiful Queen Helen of Sparta by the Trojan prince Paris. Bound by a note they'd made many years earlier, a fleet of more than 1,000 ships set out from throughout the Hellenic world to retrieve the queen. This legendary fleet was led by Agamemnon, the brother of Helen's husband and the king of Sparta, Menelaus. Once the fleet crossed the Aegean Sea and arrived in Troy, they laid siege to Troy, demanding that the Trojan king Priam return Helen. The siege, detailed in the Iliad, included the storied deaths of the Trojan prince Hector and the nearly invincible Achilles. It lasted over 10 years, until the morning the Greek armies retreated from camp, disappearing overnight in a ploy put together by the legendary Odysseus. All they left was a large wooden horse resting outside the gates of Troy. After much debate and many unheeded warnings from Priam's daughter, Cassandra, who could see the future but was cursed so that no one would ever believe her, the Trojans brought the mysterious wooden horse into the city. As soon as night fell, the horse opened up from within, and a group of Greek warriors climbed out and opened the gates to Troy for the Greeks waiting outside. Troy did not stand a chance. Although this legendary war has no archaeological evidence, it is an excellent example of the triumphs of the Mycenaean Age. Although their victory in the Trojan War was perhaps mythological, the oral stories from this age have been passed down for thousands of years and put in writing so that even modern people can know the stories the Mycenaean people told their children. The longevity of their storytelling is remarkable. The decline of the Mycenaean period was sudden and due to unknown causes, and it plunged ancient Greece into a dark age that lasted hundreds of years. Archaic period and the birth of democracy. After the Greek Dark Age, the Archaic period saw the birth of democracy in Athens, a monumental triumph for government and human rights. From 800 to 479 BCE, Greece began to recover from the Dark Age, seeing progression in its government, art, and philosophy. While it's often overshadowed by the classical period that followed it, the Archaic period laid the groundwork for ancient Greece as we remember it. The great authors Hesiod and Homer began writing during this period, and the first definitive versions of the Iliad and Odyssey were attempted. In 535 BCE, the first dramatic festival in Athens was held, shortly followed by the addition of comedy. The legendary playwright Aeschylus won his first dramatic competition in Athens before he wrote the plays he is known for in the classical period. Toward the end of the Archaic period, democracy began in Athens. Around the 6th century BCE, the Greek city-state of Athens began to shift to a groundbreaking new kind of political system. This demokratia was a direct democracy rather than a ruling aristocratic class or monarch, giving political power to the citizens of Athens for the first time. This new political system, which remained in place until the 4th century BCE, laid the groundwork for all democracies that followed. Without the political triumphs of the Archaic period, the world might look very different today. Classical period and the Persian Wars. The classical period is renowned for its personal and intellectual achievements, especially for its philosophers. This period is also inextricably linked to the Persian Wars, which historians often use as a marker to divide archaic Greece from classical Greece. According to historians, classical Greece refers to the period between the Persian Wars at the beginning of the 5th century BCE and the death of Alexander the Great in 323 BCE. Alongside the achievements in art, literature, and philosophers, the classical period was one of war and conflict. Led by Athens and Sparta, Greek city-states clashed with the Persian Empire. It was a brutal war, from the Greeks sacking Persian cities to the famous Battle of Marathon, and the Persians fought with determination. The Greeks defeated the Persians for good at the Battle of Salamis. This defeat marked the beginning of Athenian dominance. Art, science, and the Greek economy flourished for much of the classical period until the conquests of Alexander the Great. Hellenistic period and Alexander the Great. By the time Alexander the Great died in 323 BCE, marking the end of the classical period and the beginning of the Hellenistic period, he had spread Greek culture across 3 continents. His empire saw Greek culture blend with other civilizations, marking a triumph of cultural diffusion, which is why historians refer to this period as Hellenistic. The word Hellenistic comes from the word Hellezein, which means to speak Greek or identify with the Greeks. Unfortunately, although Alexander the Great conquered an incredible amount of land, his empire was not built to last. After he died, his generals divided his conquered lands among themselves. Soon, the fragments of his great empire became 3 distinct dynasties: the Seleucids of Syria and Persia, the Ptolemies of Egypt, and the Antigonids of Greece and Macedonia. The democracy of archaic and classical Greek was over. The Hellenistic states were now absolutely ruled by kings. Luckily for today's people, this period was not just a transitional period from the classical to the Hellenistic era. It was also home to great men. Some of these men were mathematicians, such as Archimedes, regarded as the father of mathematics, and Eratosthenes, who calculated the circumference of the world and its tilt, who both lived and worked during this period. The Hellenistic era ended for good in 31 BCE after falling to the Roman Empire in stages over many years. Roman and Byzantine Greece. As part of the Roman and later Byzantine empires, Greece experienced both triumph and trials. The period of Roman Greece was the end of the independent Greek city-states and the beginning of the Roman Empire's reign in Greece. It lasted from 146 BCE to 476 CE, and historians consider it the last of the historical periods of ancient Greece. During this period, the Greeks were forced to adapt to the demands of the Romans, who brought with them a new political and cultural order. However, the Greeks were able to continue developing their own unique intellectual traditions even under Roman rule. Although they had to absorb some of the ideas and institutions of their conquerors, they kept some of their own individuality as a nation. Unfortunately, the Greek city-states lost most of their autonomy. Instead, they were governed by Roman officials, who imposed their own religion and culture on the Greeks. However, the Greeks continued to make significant contributions to the arts, sciences, and philosophy even during the Roman period, marking just how resilient they could be. In 476 CE, Rome fell, but the eastern portion of the once mighty empire remained. With its capital city of Constantinople located on a strait, it was incredibly difficult to breach the capital's defenses. Moreover, the eastern part of the empire had a much smaller common frontier with Europe, making it more difficult to invade. This remaining empire was the Byzantine Empire, also known as the Eastern Roman Empire. Greece was an integral part of the Byzantine Empire, and its culture and language heavily influenced Byzantine society. However, after the fall of the Roman Empire, Greece was subject to instability and invasions from tribes in the Balkans and Eastern Europe. In 1453, the Ottomans conquered Constantinople, capturing and killing the Byzantine emperor, Emperor Constantine XI. Ottoman Greece and the fight for independence. Under Ottoman rule, Greece faced centuries of oppression, but the spirit of independence never died. After nearly 4 centuries of Ottoman rule, Greece finally rebelled in 1821 in the War of Greek Independence. While the Ottomans allowed some autonomy in Greece when it came to their culture and religion, the Greeks faced heavy taxation, political marginalization, and periodic persecution for their religion. Despite the immense challenges, the Greek identity persisted. They put together secret schools to maintain the Greek language and Orthodox faith during times of oppression. The Greek War of Independence, also known as the Greek Revolution, began in the Peloponnese and quickly spread to other regions like Central Greece, the Aegean Islands, and Crete. The conflict was brutal, marked by massacres on both sides. It eventually gained the attention of major European powers like Britain, France, and Russia, which sympathized with the Greek cause. Their involvement culminated in the Battle of Navarino in 1827, where an Allied fleet destroyed the Ottoman Egyptian navy. This victory, combined with pressure on the Ottoman Empire, led to the recognition of Greek independence in the Treaty of Constantinople in 1832, establishing Greece as a sovereign state. They were the first of the subject peoples of the Ottoman Empire to gain complete independence. Modern Greece. Modern Greece has experienced its fair share of triumphs and trials, including establishing a modern democratic state and enduring economic challenges. It has been involved in wars, other conflicts, financial crises, and even the prospect of civil war. Despite the many difficulties since it gained independence in the 19th century, the Greek people's resilience and dedication to preserving their rich heritage continue to inspire the world. They have endured centuries of trials, yet they continue to triumph. How would you like to get a deeper understanding of history, impress your friends, and predict the future more accurately based on past events? If this sounds like something you might be into, then check out the brand new Captivating History Book Club by clicking the first link in the description. To learn more about Greece and its story through the ages, check out our book, History of Greece, a captivating guide to Greek history starting from the Bronze Age in ancient Greece through the classical and Hellenistic period to the modern era. It's available as an ebook, paperback, and audiobook. Also, grab your free mythology bundle ebook while it's still available. All links are in the description. If you found the video captivating, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this.